Hi guys, welcome back to my shop. We're testing out the second type of glue I'm trying to make leather belts for my Brown Sharpe number 13 grinder. Same test as before, weight hanging on the back. This joint here, I did 3 days after I did this joint. This joint slipped in the press and is unusable, so that's what I'm going to test to destruction. And we'll see if this glue will hold up to the heat and allow me to put it on my belt. If not, we'll go to that barred cement. Let's start it up and see what we can do. It's been hanging for about 5 hours on this belt. I don't see any letting loose, but the tenor's bonded the same thing. So let's try this out and see what we can do. I doubted this belt would ever see much over 120 degrees, but it goes over a very small radius pulley, and it's just going to be tough. Belt was actually stretched by hanging with weights on it for about a month before I started making it into the dry belt. So it's not going to stretch anymore. 108 on the back side. There's 15, and you can see how the probe is on the back side of the belt. Kind of turning it dark for it's hitting. I'm going to flip it around and let it heat from that side for a minute. It's actually burning it down there. They say this glue is good to 200 degrees. That's 122 now. I think that's enough heat. That is hot. And I don't see it letting loose anywhere. Okay, that's good enough for me. I think we've got us a winner. So, I'm going to cut that one out and proceed to the next part, putting it on the machine. Alright guys and gals, today's the day we're going to put on the belt. Got the tray welded on the other day and I'm happy with it. I drove all the way to Kansas to pick this machine up several years ago, and I didn't really understand why the thing wasn't working correctly till one day I said, okay, I got to figure this out. And it turns out that the original factory belt on here, or the original belt that I got out of its factory, was too short. This is the Brown Sharpe Model 13, the older version. This one has one motor in the bottom and it drives the back and forth of the table and the spindle. There's two pulleys. Second, I'll give you a close-up down there. that one motor runs everything. The newer Model 13s have an electric motor up on top, because I suspect that between all of the different pulley arrangements and the spacing of the head and everything, that it just wasn't a great design. That's just my thoughts on it. My new Cincinnati Millicron has a motor up there, and that's the reason I bought it, because that motor was separate. Now this is the original belt. It starts off in the bottom of this machine, goes back to the very back where there's a pulley on a weighted arm that goes up and down. Then it threads through some pulleys underneath. It goes all the way up to the spindle, makes a very quick turn. I doubt if that spindle's 2.5-inch diameter pulley on it, and then goes back down, back to the belt. Well, you can't see any of it because stuff's in the way. So, when I originally started this project, I thought about how to get the belt rerouted through all those pulleys without screwing up something, because it's very hard to see. So what I did was, when I cut the belt, I drilled a hole in one end, and I put a heavy cord through it, and then I pulled the belt out, and that ran the cord around all the pulleys. I put the new test belt on it, and it was working great, but then it blew up on us. So now I've lost my pull rope. So today, I've been thinking about how in the heck to get this belt threaded through all the right places. I'm going to have to take out the electric sub panel underneath here where the contactors are. And it's got some heaters and a little bit of everything in there. So I can reach back in there and try to thread the belt through. Now, I don't mess with leather belt machines very much, because I'm not as old as a lot of people. They're cool, but I can see where there would be problems, and direct drive motors would be better. But two things I know: this is a grinder. I can't have a metal lace going around that spindle pulley. I want that spindle pulley just to be as smooth as possible. And it's a thin belt, so any lacings or anything like that are going to create a hump. So in my mind, this is a glued joint using the glue I found. And what you do is you want the skin side, or the smooth side of the leather, up against the pulleys. Now, it makes so many turns under there, and I don't even know what it is, because I just got to do it by feel, that I'm not really sure how the skin side is going to end up on this pulley. I assume it's going to be the same as here and up here, but what I'm mainly worried about is that one. So what I'm going to do is take the belt, it's not joined, and feed it down through the top pulley and make sure it's right on that top pulley, and then take out this stuff and fish it through and see if we can get it together. I did cheat a little bit, and this is just a blind leap of faith. I've gone ahead and scarfed the belt to where it can be glued without me trying to scarf it on the machine, cutting and determine. I made this belt 4.5 inches longer than the other belt, and if it doesn't work, I'll scarf another piece or cut it off while it's on the machine, but hopefully it'll work. So now, as you can see, I've ground this flat. I mean, there's nothing there. It just is smooth. And there's only one joint right here. Then this is solid. So what I want this belt to do is turn over and go like this, where it's the bottom of the pulley like this, and this comes off, and that tailing edge of that joint, the only part that's on this side of the belt, is the last off the pulley. I don't want it to be the first on the pulley. So, seeing how this wheel rotates this way, this belt needs to be oriented so that the trailing edge is back here on the back side. Now, I thought it'd be a simple job of sticking it in there, but somebody did some design changes that, well, I'll show you. Down here is the problem with the old belt. That's the counterweight pulley, and that counterweight was sitting right there straight up. If it's in that position, it puts some tension on that belt, and it made the spindle run at the correct speed. This is the other end of the spindle. You can put another wheel on this side if you want to. This head goes up and down on this column, and you can change the height of the wheels, but as you can see, it's pretty much on center line for turning shafts. That's that bar that's right in my way. So you guys can see it in there. There you go. There's the pulley I've got to go around. And what I think I'm going to do is come over here on this side with both ends of the belt and put the other belt on that side of the pulley over here and drop them down and come in through this motor control electrical panel hatch and see if I can get it threaded the rest of the way. So, wish me luck. It's been raining all morning. Couldn't do this because that gum rain on the tin roof. Okay, I want this edge to come over last as it rotates. So, I want the skin side. So if I do this, line up both ends of the belt like this, that should be right. Slip it over my shoulder so I don't screw it up. We've got to be moving some more machines. There's a pain being over here in the corner. Let's see now. I don't think you guys can see in here, but this isn't rocket science, so hopefully this will drop down. Well, this one's dropping pretty good. The other side, maybe get some, there it goes. So it's got some weight on it now. Well, it does not want to go farther. So I'm assuming that I need to go down lower. Let's see what we can do. I don't know how well you guys can see here, but this I don't know how well you guys can see in here, but this is the motor. And they've extended some oiling ports for the bearings. I see 3 down here. It's got a property tag of Lake City Ordnance Plant. It says 15981 M1. This surprises me. This isn't at all like the Brown Sharpe cabinets I'm used to. I mean, this thing's open to the elements, and I don't know when it was built, but it may be a war machine. One of the neat features is these are all the pulleys that you can put on this. And there's a wood rack right here. And all the pulleys, if you maneuver them around, can fit into this wood rack. That wood rack, I don't see how they put it in there unless they built it in or put it in before they put in the motor. But I think that's the only reason it stayed with that machine. This is the pulley I'm going to put back on it. This one makes that spindle go a little too fast along with the feed. So I'm going to drop down the speed by switching the pulley. See if I can get that belt drug through there. Took this out once before. Don't look like anybody's ever messed with it. Power's off. Taps. And oh crap. I was hoping to see two ends of a belt right there, but it ain't going to be. That's not what has happened. I don't see any belts. I don't have a drawing of where the belt should run like they put on all the cars nowadays. Well, I'm back. I picked up one of these Osmo action cameras on the recommendation of a fellow YouTuber. I have an old GoPro, but this one comes with the added feature of being able to see what's going on in the front and the back of the camera. So what do you say we put some light on the subject and see if we can use this as an object to help figure out what the heck's up there. Now, that ain't working so well. Let's see. This is a little magnetic base that you can kind of make stick to the wall. Well, I see two pulleys. That's about it right now. And I'm almost certain they need to go right in between those two pulleys, and there ain't no way in heck that's going to happen with the way I've got it set up. So, all right. Got us some stuff we're going to need. Got some cord that I'm going to feed down through there first with a small weight on it. I think we're going to need about that much. Here's one of my 8 utility knives. Fix that up. Then I'm going to put a 3/8 inch nut on the bottom of it and tie a knot in it on the bottom side so that the nut can't slide off, but I don't have a big knot impeding going through that little area. Guess I better move this knot down on string a little bit so it doesn't get caught up. I'm going to cut this into 2 lengths here using one of my 8 utility knives that I have scattered everywhere. This is number 7. What I'm doing is I'm tagging one of them with a little piece of blue tape so that I know which one it is. The blue one I'm going to put on the far side of the pulley because it's got to go back around and go to the other end of the counterweight. So I need to know which way to pull to thread those things. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to pull these through there and then tape this into the leather belt and then feed it through like that. So let's see if this works. Aha! We have rope. All right, let's get set up to pull them. Just make sure this is the right orientation before I screw something else up again. Bet you the guys that worked on these in the old days could have had this done 20 minutes ago. But first one you ever do always takes longer. Okay. Now, I'm going to go ahead and push this in there and get this one through. Now my blue one, if I got it everything set up right, should pull my belt through the correct area, and there it's already down in there. I don't think I need the string anymore, so let's get rid of you. The thing is, I got to come back with it too, so I'll just leave it sticking through there and tape it on the other side also. You gotta go through here. Amazing what these old timers came up with, huh? I think that one goes around there. I'm just going to leave that taped. If I pull too hard on that string, it's going to come off. Don't pull hard enough, it isn't going to go through. turn the spindle. It's acting like that's not on the right side of the pulley, or if it's going off the edge. Let me go look. Once again, you guys are in the way. Well, that is on. Ooh, here we come. Another one's going up. This is coming down. Yay. That one's there. That one's there. That one goes around when I pull it. You see back there, they're going around that pulley. What I'm going to go do is block that pulley up so I have some more space to play with. All right. Blocking that pulley up should have given me a lot of extra belt. That's where it gets connected. Now, this is that PLIO bond. It says it's good to 200 degrees, vibration, and everything else. Put a thin coat on rough surfaces, porous surfaces. Let it dry. Put another coat on. Let it dry. And then wet one surface only, put it in position and clamp it. All right. While that dries, I'm going to cut some 5-inch blocks so we can clamp it. I bet you this thing was hard to cast. Got a lot of rough edges on here. I bet this is a war machine. It's just not up to the fit and finish and things going on that Brown Sharpes were. I mean, I've seen inside Brown Sharpe electrical cabinets. They're just beautiful. Well, now we come to the part that I've been dreading for quite a while. Only because this is the time, well, almost the time I find out if it's screwed up or not. It was hot in here, so I did the gluing off camera, and now I've got 2 dry coats on this side and 2 dry coats on this side, and now I'm going to wet one of them and stick them together and clamp it up. It should go okay. I think you're the... Got 2 blocks of wood, and these are these little Craig clamps. I truly love them. They're self-adjusting to no matter what thickness you have. I used to use them all the time for building cabinet faces and putting cabinets together. I think they're pretty good. Now this is the last coat before you put them together, and you're only supposed to put it on one side. So it does work a little bit better than normal contact cement in that you can align it when you do it this way. We put a block of wood back here. I'm going to line it up on one edge of this block of wood. What happened to one of the joints was after I did this, it slid over 1/2 inch. So I'm going to be checking that, make sure. And I thought I had checked that other one. I think what I did was I put the clamp too far over on one of it. Come on, I'll sit there saying good things about you. You better work right. There's a big chance. That looks pretty good. Now we wait for 7 days. You moving? Not moving, are you? I'm going to sit here for at least 3 hours. I'm going to sit here and watch it for a little bit just to make sure it doesn't slide off. After all this fuss, I'd hate to have to do it again.